I'm all right. We're now in the go live screen. The main scene now. Yay!
Did they
Oh,
hear me say CD Lamb
what's
smoking crack?
going on, everyone?
Well, they now did because you
How's
said it.
everyone
Good.
doing tonight,
That was the whole
today,
point.
or yesterday, or tomorrow? Where are y'all at?
Ha- How's everyone's Labor Day weekend start off?
Exciting.
Pretty laborious.
Laborious, you
Working.
mean?
Laborious.
Laborious.
Well, shit,
Labors.
guys. Well, before we start off on today's topic too, because this topic is going to be revolving around movies and VFX and whatnot. So before we
Your
even
face.
before we do any
Yeah,
discussion and we make any hot or trash takes for this one, I want the three of y'all give me your hottest, or in this case, your most favorite movie visually and your worst movie visually that you've seen.
God damn. I gotta remember.
Way
Oh,
of
don't
Water.
watch me.
Way of Water had pretty good effects. Very
Visually
good.
speaking.
Visually speaking, I actually really did like it. I felt like I was swimming half the time while I was sitting there watching in the theater. And,
Yeah, it's because it's me drowning you.
Yes.
Ooh.
And worst
No.
worst is going to probably be Transmorphers.
Not Transformers. Oh god.
No, in the knockoff of Transformers that tried to get everyone. Transmorphers. I'm not even gonna elaborate more on it. Don't ask.
I gotta look it up what it is.
It's terrible. It's
Well,
like they could.
yeah.
Okay, the best way to describe it too is like they thought they combined together what you thought was going to be Transformers, but it's like a more worse versions of Terminator as well.
That's crazy.
It's I wouldn't say more worse. It is just the worst version of Terminator in terms of like just how it's supposed to be based around or based off of or some shit. Anyways, Loy, give me your best and your worst movies.
Bro, I don't even know the worst. But I
Alright, your
love
best.
fucking white chicks.
Best movie visually. All right, that still works. But in this
I
case,
love white.
but I will say though, go ahead and just tell me like why do you like that as like your best movie?
Oh, it's white chicks, bro. Do I need to say more?
Well, kind of for the purpose of the podcast, so that people can understand at least.
Bro, people who watch white chicks, they know.
It's like, look,
They already
imagine
know.
the audience space too are just also Gen Z people. How would you describe white chicks to the younger people?
Chicks that are white.
Yeah, pretty much. Black undercover agents that dress up as white rich girls. Pretty
Well,
much.
Oh, yeah. If anything, there's nothing really more to this plot, and it's also the fact that we get to see Terry Crews also doing rave dancing as well. That's also something.
Yeah, dude, that's the scene. Stays in my head rent free.
It's like,
They don't make movies like
they really can't anymore too, because like for me that would have been like Tropic Thunder for me. Yeah, ever seen
You can't
Iron
say
Man
the
be a
line.
black person?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Before Iron Man was Iron Man.
He was a
watch
black
Tropic
dude.
Thunder. Yeah.
But if anything, anyways, Victor, have you found something that you could think of?
I don't know. I think I would say Transformers would be up there with the
Best
one of the
visually.
good best visuals, yeah. But worst, I don't know, man. I mean, I 100% have seen terrible movies, but at the same time, I don't remember them because I think they're
They're so
repressed
cheap.
memories right now.
That's perfectly fine too, because I would at least say a couple of things there too, because I will say right now the best movie visually speaking, I would say too, it's honestly a tie between the first two Jurassic Parks and Tron Legacy. Only because the fact that, do you guys remember like seeing the trailers for Tron Legacy?
Kinda.
So the visual, at least for the whole movie itself, is done so well that it doesn't matter if the CGI looks fake or not too, because half the time the whole world itself takes place in a digital environment. So a lot of times us as an audience, we already can like write off all of the things on there, and we can just focus on the actual scene it takes to without having some of the visual actually ruin it for us. Now, the only reason I kind of want to start this off with that kind of an icebreaker is to ask you guys a general question, or in this case, this will be a general hot take here of, do you think movies nowadays have been getting worse visually speaking?
Well, movies have been getting worse in general. Yeah.
In general, yes. But in regards of like visuals too, especially with like the advancement in
Yeah.
technology that we had, yeah. And just in general, they've been getting bad. What about you two?
I feel
Yeah.
like it's been more towards on like shows. I feel like shows qualities like visually have dropped.
To be fair though,
I mean-
shows VFX have like a specific like line, or they have a specific bar that if I watch a show too, I'm not expecting like the most over the top
Yeah, I'm not
VFX.
either, but like I'm also not expecting like super
Trash.
subpar. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what about you, Loy? Do you feel that in most cases, if let's say the last movie you watched or the last movie trailer you watched, that you look at it and you're just like, meh?
I don't really watch movies all too often, so I can't really provide an opinion. Plus, regarding shows, I don't watch like up to date shows that too often.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only ones that I've watched was like recently was probably Shogun earlier this year. I always watch The Rookie, but these are more not like they don't really need super big visual effects. It's like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
For Shogun, it's just war, and The Rookie is just, oh, it's just they're police officers, so it's just gunshots. So maybe that.
So
I can't
I-
really provide an
Mhm.
opinion on that.
I mean, that's perfectly fine too, because that's honestly like good enough anyways. You still provide some level of insight with it too. But it's also good that you mentioned it regardless for the shows, because both of the shows that you do mention, oh my god, did I stutter in between that? Holy fuck.
No,
I
Okay.
don't think so.
I thought I did.
It was,
So
it was pretty fluid.
So, one of the things I would like to mention too is that for both of those shows, they do have VFX that are built into those shows, but a lot of that are very seamless that you don't really notice it at all too. And that's honestly the best way how people should really use or handle visual effects. But the problem that I would say too is that like let's just look at all of like the most recent MCU movies that we have seen. I'm not going to count shows because for this regard too, I would rather focus on the movie aspects. But let's just say, for example, all the shows that we have seen in terms of like the trailers, I would like to say too that like a lot of their CGI is just awful. Like,
I think there was a point in time where Marvel movies peaked, and after that, that's when it started getting bad.
Infinity Wars when it peaked.
well, it was Endgame and Infinity Wars. That's when like the CGI actually peaked. Just because, Michael, you seen Endgame.
Yeah.
So in this case, would you at least say too that like out of all of the MCU movies that you watched too, that both Endgame and Infinity War had the best visually, or do you think that there's something that I'm wrong about that assumption?
No, I think they were pretty peak. Like they were. I would be very surprised if they weren't, seeing that they were like the ultimate end to like the series supposedly. You know.
Right. So, like I said, I state this otherwise too because there is a inherent problem, not with just MCU, but a lot of cases too. Hollywood itself is not like utilizing VFX to what they actually should be handled with here. Where in this case, VFX in reality should only be like symbiotically like working together with like practical effects. I'll give out like some like the most really good examples here, which would be the Batman, Alien Romulus, Dune. Those movies have blended together both practical and visual effects very well in terms of filmmaking.
You explain practical effects for people who don't know what it is.
So for those that, if you think about practical effects, they are literally just think of like all of the costumes or some of the things that you see on set, or let's just say the best way to compare it to is like visual effects would just be like you had to render out like a actor's tattoos that they currently have that they need to do this shoot, or the CGI lips on Superman in the Justice League movie. Oh god.
What?
So long
I have
story.
no idea what that is.
So quick story behind that too. The person that was supposed to be directing this stuff for the Justice League, Zack Snyder, he was straight up dropped from Warner Brothers because of the fact that they did not like the direction that he was going for. And so they dropped him and they picked up Joss Whedon, who is arguably probably the worst option you could do to make a superhero franchise. The only reason they brought him back on here is because he made the first Avengers. And that's debatable if it was good or not. But I digress. Yeah, the first Avengers. That was with the Loki, then the time in the portal with the other shit. And it was also by far the worst Captain America suit in live action.
And they made a lot of money. It's good then, apparently.
Yeah, it did make a lot of money. But they brought him back on to do like the Justice League. And it was really terrible because they already shot all the scenes that they needed to do. The Henry Cavill playing as Superman, he already did the whole scene where he didn't have facial hair and he had like a black suit version on. But Joss Whedon wanted him back on with the usual like Superman suit that he originally had. The problem was at the same time that they had to do this reshoot, he was already like committed to the role as being an actor or acting in a role for Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible movie. And he had a full facial hair growing. And contractually, he could not shave because of the fact that he had to do the Mission Impossible movie. So what did Warner Brothers do? They had the CGI team to try to CGI out his facial hair. And it looks the most jarring thing out there. Hold on, let me see if I can actually look it up for you. I'll pull up videos for you guys real quick.
Yes, yeah, an example would be nice. I would like to see how terrible it is.
All right. So with it, we are gonna actually showcase you video real quick of this shit. It looks so awful here. Here's in this case the Superman mouth fix, and this is like people that are using the deep fakes to actually fix it. So, oh shit, I forgot to actually stream this shit on Discord for you guys.
Yeah.
Give me one second.
Yeah, boy forgot about us.
Poor
My bad.
host.
But
I'm just kidding. I love you.
but we will definitely look at this shit too. So you look at it in this case, the deepfake versus CGI.
You've seen Justice.
So in this case, we're not going to listen to his audio and talk about this shit too, because if anything, if you guys want to see the video, you can look it up yourself as Shamook. I've watched this countless times too to try to make a point about this. But here's in this case, CGI that's done wrong for this. Like, this is a deepfake on the far right. What do you guys notice on the left that looks off?
Can you pause the video? Oh yeah.
Well, the eyes seem a little different.
The AI seems
Eyes,
a little
facial
different.
structure,
The
like the
eyes.
smile.
I feel like. Did I see that right? Did
his-
he have two different skin colors for his mouth? Like around his.
There's a few things that you can point out.
His whole
'cause
facial structure is very off.
Like, let me do a playback speed of like a quarter speed so that we could go super slow and you get to look at this.
I feel like that little part where his defining part in his chin is more subtle on the deep fake, and the original is like more defined.
For me, it's the weird thing for me is like, why does his lips feel like it's more protruded out than normal? Like, not just his lips alone, like just the mouth area alone is like sticking out more
Somewhere.
on the original.
Deepfake?
No,
Oh,
not
the
the
original.
deepfake. The deepfake is something that I could care less about. The original is what we're focused on here, because he does like a really good like comparison of why it looks weird that way. But in this case,
Oh.
the CGI artist itself, this was also a last minute reshoot as well, so they themselves did not have time to like perfect the CGI here, and they had like
His
crunch
teeth
time to
look
do-
like they're a little off. I don't know.
And I
Actually.
feel like that's probably why.
You look like you got a bigger forehead.
I think he's always looked like this. It's mostly like I'm focused around the mouth area, but then again, it could also be this entire.
Well, I mean, his
Head
whole
is
face
also-
is just weird.
Mhm. But yeah,
I mean, going back to your point that it was a reshoot and they couldn't perfect it, wouldn't that also explain like some of these other VFX artists, like they don't have as much time, even though they have like all this money and it could be have
yeah,
all these reshoots.
that
I
that
think
is
that could play
definitely
a factor why we
Yeah,
think
man.
it's getting worse, and
One
it
money
probably
is
is worse
thing,
too.
bro. Money is one thing, bro. We only got so much time out of the day to do this work.
yeah. Like
And I
here's
feel
the
like it's something else too, besides just the time.
yeah,
Or like the time frame they have to do it in.
yeah.
Exactly. It's just no time.
Yeah, it's like the my biggest issue with like again, yeah, the CGI that's used for a lot of these things too is definitely way more overused, and it's also abusing a lot of the CGI companies or VFX companies that are tasked to do these like inflexible and volatile scheduling. Really, that's the best way to really consider this right now because a lot of these movies and shoots and whatnot too, for the actors, all they really need to do is definitely just play out the scene too. But it can also be tiring as well if they had to do reshoots because there's some producer differences, or in this case, there's something that they didn't like about the direction, or like they
You
just
know-
straight up a pivot.
That's some piss poor planning. And
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say. That's
Yeah.
really just some real piss poor planning on the
Yeah.
company side. There's no
So-
reason why you have to reshoot.
Yeah, it's definitely like there was something that you did not have to reshoot that, but there's also something too that like to hone out the point of like the whole thing that the actors or the VFX artists did not actually have enough time to. Black Panther has the most infamous fight scene ending that was by far the only reason why it did not reach like the highest quality of rating or highest rating it could have, in my opinion. So let me 1 second. It's a lot of me just typing out the videos here too, but we're not going to try our best to watch the entire clip here. We're only going to look at like few segments here. So we're going to be looking at this point where both T'Challa and Killmonger fall off of the ledge here and they start fighting in the vibranium mines here. Now, the thing... Mm-hmm. No, yeah, this...
Normally?
Oh, yeah, the normally one. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and do the normal speed real quick. Like, here's the thing about this too. There's some context with this. This whole entire scene here had to be reshooted because of the fact that obviously they wanted the fight scene to actually happen in the dark, but the problem is both of their Black Panther suits are black.
And they wouldn't
Makes
be
sense
able
to
to
me.
see.
You know,
Yeah.
honestly, that looked really that right there. What we just saw. I mean, clearly it is, but it's so obviously it looks
Like, it looks-
cartoonish.
Yeah, it looks jarring to say the least. So from that small clip alone, it's definitely like a lot of times I think the over reliance on VFX definitely does hurt these companies, but it's not like all
I
VFX
don't-
in movies are
okay.
bad.
But I
don't
mean, like, I
think
feel like
over- I
Marvel's
don't
an
think it's
exception.
over-reliant.
Well, not
I
an
don't think
exception.
it's over reliance on VFX. I think they're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, because here's the thing about this too, because like obviously like the only sad thing about the Marvel what they're doing with it too is that like they actually build out a lot of like the actors like hero costumes and they look fantastic. Like why not just make them shoot in their like shoot all of your scenes with them with the suit actual suit on. They don't need to be in the suit itself. You could have like body doubles to like actually do it, like actual stunt choreographers that could do a lot of the fight scenes you want to do. Makes sense. But the issue is that like there's some behind the scenes stuff too that you see that like even when they're just standing in the scene where they're just talking, they CGI out everything about them. And I think it was the main issue with like the Iron Man movies as well, where like it ended up being is that it's just Robert Downey Jr.'s head that's just floating with on top of like a CGI armor or bodysuit. Which there's nothing really wrong with it too, but they actually had a fully like developed like armor that Tony could actually wear on set and he could shoot and it'll have all the realistic lightings, all of the things that you would want to see out of it.
Mhm.
But it never happened to go that way for a lot of times just because they had reason being that they didn't want to damage the costumes really, which I'm like, then that's why you
What's-
pay these
what's the point of making
costumes.
it?
Yeah. Eh, it gets really silly on like the reason
Wait.
why they couldn't shoot.
Look, they're afraid to damage it. Okay, fine, but they already made it. They made it for the movie.
Yeah.
That also
Like,
eats into the budget. I'm sure that's not cheap.
yeah. Like just doing like the entire shoot where like you just replace the entire actor as a CGI body. Yeah, it's not cheap at all either. They
What?
it
No,
would be.
I'm
Mhm.
saying them making the suit. You said make the suit, right?
Yeah, they did make the suit, but it's like they made the suit in because the fact that they wanted to give like VFX like a light reference is how it's supposed to look. But either
Uh-huh.
way, you already have the suit. You already have the shot there too. It's hard. Like it's hard to really justify like why they did it in such a way too. That I think it is probably in the long run, it's definitely better for them to do an all VFX shot. But I would like to counter argument with in this case Tron Legacy, which has a better usage of VFX and CGI.
VFO.
Yeah, VFI. But
Beautiful.
it's just like all of this is all CG render. All of the actors are wearing the suits too. Then you can also argue that they are also CG rendered as well. But just look at the visual aesthetics of this versus what we do have right now. Which
I
is
think
just-
the problem. I think the thing is that it doesn't. The VFX is enjoying because we know it's in like a video game-ish world.
yeah, it's like the setting matters a lot, right?
Mhm. I
Setting
mean, we see
truly
this, and I mean, when you play video games, you see these things all the time, so it doesn't affect you.
Mhm. And then I want to compare this to the Doctor Strange movie that recently came out. Spoilers for those that haven't seen it, but you know what? You're not really missing out anything by not
It's been
watching
a
this movie.
Been a couple years plus. It's like
It's
mid-
not like, yeah, like
Mid-ass
look
movie.
at look at this shit here. What the fuck is that?
It's a third
It's called
eye,
an
man.
eye.
It's a
Yeah,
third
but
eye,
it-
Brian. Duh.
I know, but it looks like, oh god. Like I get that it's supposed to be like unsettling to look at too. Like that's a point of this shot. But the entirety of this scene just does not look it doesn't work for me. I don't know
Well, yeah,
what it
that
is.
That whole visual effect in the background definitely doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. And say we'll just go through it. It's just like, here's the thing about it. Doctor Strange by far has like the most interesting usages of visual effects because they're trying to showcase like magic battle for the first time for Marvel. But this is also the most shittiest way to really showcase that because what the hell is this?
Yeah, the fucking notes. Not this is low key pretty cool.
It does, but it's like
Slap your ops with
The
some music,
the
bro.
concept is pretty cool, but
it's like what?
I mean, I slap your ops with some music, bro.
He can't handle Beethoven.
You can't handle the bars.
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't make sense like continuity wise too because we see it that like the magic itself is able to like cut through things because you see them cut through the candles, but yet it's not doing that to him.
Maybe
He's
he's
magically
different.
protected.
Maybe he has the shield. Look at that!
Oh.
Look at that, bro. There's a
Yeah,
little purple thing happening.
yeah. I was like, what is this shit?
This
I think
is,
it's
this
the
is
slow mo.
This is the magician's rap battle.
exactly.
This is the wizard rap battle, bro. Like, what is this?
Yeah, but it's like this is the problem right now with a lot of like the CGI art direction that they had. It's not like it doesn't look great on here.
But to be fair, this doesn't look like terrible.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't look terrible, but we had like better scenes with Doctor Strange here too, where okay, maybe not like that, where he's getting his ass beaten. My bad, guys.
Perfect scene.
But you had stuff like this shit here. Now, I remember I saw like the behind the scene footage of this shit. This is actually genius way of like actually doing rotoscoping to green screening and him actually getting onto set. Like,
God damn.
yeah. That's what like that looks cool in a way too. So there's definitely like times too where I think Doctor Strange had like the first one actually had the benefit of like they had enough time to like develop a lot of the shot too because the movie did take a while for it to actually get released.
Mhm.
But again, my point still stands too. That like this looks terrible, but yeah, this came out in 2014, and this is great to visually look at. And like I said, I'm trying to be as like I'm trying my best to not think about like the setting itself is going to be the defining factor of why certain VFX look great and some aren't. Here,
But it is part of it. I mean, it is part
Yeah.
of the reason why. I mean, without this whole digital world, this whole game like setting, I'm sure the visual effects gonna look garbage.
hmm and we can even go back in time real quick as well, where like Jurassic Park, for example, that was actually the most amazing like usage of VFX. Even though a lot of times people like to say that like, oh, it's all just practical effects. No, it's actually a lot of it. Hold on, Jurassic Park, not Worlds. Worlds is dog shit.
Yeah, the old one, the original.
Yeah, like this shit is awesome here. And there's some commonalities where I want to point out of like why I think a lot of the CGI actually works really well. At least back then, why it works the way how it is. Like you see all of this shit. I'm just gonna jump through this. We're not gonna go through watch videos just because I don't want the whole episode being just us watching videos. But look at this.
You can. I mean, yes, the movie came out in like the 90s, right?
Yeah,
But
1999.
You can clearly tell.
Yeah, you could
It
tell
doesn't
that
match
it's
up with the
CGI.
scene, but it does look very good.
Uh-huh.
Makes me want to watch all the Jurassic Parks again.
Yeah, it's a great movie nonetheless. One of the theories that I do have with a lot of CGI too, and I think it's something that I think Guillermo del Toro did really well in his film with Pacific Rim, is the fact that he always shot his films at like in the Pacific Rim, always shot those movies with like the big ass robots and monsters in like at nighttime setting, and it's raining. Because I think us, give or take how you want to handle this, I think us, whenever we see stuff that's raining, we know what things look like when it's wet, right? So,
No.
anyways, mentally speaking, if we haven't seen it before too, the human mind is able to at least process like what things would look like if they're wet. Like we're really good at doing that shit with like conceptually filling in the blanks. Just because with a lot of CGI stuff, if you look at it raw CGI, even with the best amount of texturings and lightings, you can still like point it out and it'll still look off. But if you add enough stuff to like dirty up the frame, it becomes almost impossible to really tell, and it looks really fucking good. Like
Okay,
let's take
fair enough.
like let's look, for example, this is Pacific Rim is also my guilty pleasure movie, because look at this shit
Now,
here.
Mr. Bowie.
Yes. Because look at the texturings. Like you can, yes, this is definitely CGI, but this looks so much better.
What? You're telling me they
honestly.
didn't have a gigantic mech running in a street?
Look,
Destroying the whole
look.
town.
This is the reason why
Against a giant
Pacific.
monster?
A big kaiju?
Look, this is why if Pacific Rim was directed by Guillermo del Toro and not Christopher Nolan, because he would have actually wanted to see if he could build a giant robot. So
Hey, I would have been down for that.
You
we
know
would
what?
all been down, but everybody else is going to be scared shitless of like, oh god.
Yeah, bro.
But
Then
yeah.
you gotta build an actual city.
Now, this is the only good scene in Pacific Rim Uprising because even though it's not at nighttime here, but there's just a lot of this stuff too that like it does not look great in.
I mean, you can't always have a scene at nighttime.
Yeah, you can't always have a scene at nighttime. That's perfectly fine. But I say this is probably one like the better scenes that they had, where it's like, it's like a lot of the mechs is like covered in like snow. There's like stuff on them. The weathering, it makes it so that you don't really notice a lot of like the bad stuff on there.
I mean,
Then
yeah,
there's-
when there's ice flying everywhere, bro, it's hard to see the mechs themselves.
Yeah, and then you see shit like this stuff here. Also, yeah, rest in peace these group of people right here. But it's like you look
So
at
sorry.
this. It's like the way how I look at this is like a CGI like or it's like a cutscene from a video game.
Low key kind of does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's borderline uncanny.
yeah, it's borderline uncanny, but it's something that like, you can definitely pick it out, but it just does not look as great compared to like let's just say the first Pacific Rim or even the Antarctic scene. Why was he sliding? I don't know.
Yeah,
Why
he
not,
just
bro?
really
Isn't that
tore
how
up
you
the
come in?
road.
Bro, you
Isn't that
watch
how you
Gundam.
come
You
in,
never
Brian?
seen big robots sliding, flying?
Look, that's perfectly fine. But the reason why I like in this case the Pacific Rim film was the fact that a lot of the fight scenes that they did in that is that they were all sluggish. They were supposed to emulate the size of these fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm.
it's obvious too
Mhm.
that like they did sell the scene really well, especially with the mech pilots itself. Like you can see that they're like struggling to try to move this fucking behemoth.
Look, bro, in the new movie, maybe they got new mechs, bro.
Yeah, they definitely did. And it's like
Technology
that.
advances, Brian.
Yeah, but it's also the worst rated film.
That's crazy.
So I
That's
don't
actually
really
pretty
know.
I mean, but still, though, I mean, I understand your point. You know, like
Mhm.
it looks off. It looks really off,
Yeah,
and it's
like
probably because of all the terrible CGI. And the terrible CGI doesn't help it either.
yeah, the terrible CGI doesn't really help it either. And it's just like, God, I fucking hate it. But what the hell is this? Like, I could
Yeah,
definitely.
let's go back to the rap battle. Let's go. Hey,
Yeah.
let's finish the rap battle.
The rap
Oh, God.
battle.
Oh shit, the rap battle of history between two wizards. Actually, no, it's supposed to be sorcerers.
Damn, you just disrespected them by calling them wizards.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorcerer rap battle.
Like,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
What the hell? Okay, that's kind of funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
That's pretty good.
there it gets to the point where too, like this is also the worst scene in this movie, Black Widow movie.
It looks.
It already looks terrible.
Yeah, look at this shit here too.
That already looks worse than some like fucking 1990s.
Bro, just
movie.
me looking at it, like, it looks like it's still on a green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like an intern rendered this like in 3 hours.
God, I had to keep replaying this because God,
I mean,
because
also her acting does not help.
No,
It's
I
also pretty
remember
terrible.
hearing in the film that her acting was kind of mid.
like,
Well, her acting is
it's-
very terrible here.
and then the biggest issue is that like we've had good like in this case similar
Yeah.
where Black Widow is it. This is amazing movie, by the way.
Yeah, I
Dude,
know. I
very-
love this movie, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, like see this shit too. Because like the only thing is like Bucky's arm is all CGI'd.
Yeah,
It's like
love that
Like-
scene.
and yeah, and you can definitely tell too like how they're actually utilizing the CGI here is that like you don't stand to look at his arm for too long either. And a lot of the shots is definitely like either away from it or just a lot of multiple cuts. And
Bro
look
is
at
an
this.
assassin and kept
Yeah.
shooting the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
character. I mean,
Like-
face.
Yeah, and even in this pose right here too, where he is literally carrying a shield that obscures his other arm, so you don't get to see the CGI, which is perfectly fine.
Hey man, it's just well-crafted choreo, bro.
Yeah, honestly,
Well-crafted
when
choreo.
there's that too, and it's like some could even argue too that Shang-Chi definitely has better choreography, but man, okay, actually no,
That's
I will
kinda
say
lame. I must say it was pretty lame, dude.
it's lame because of the
Like
fact
the
that I see what they were
effects
trying to
were-
do. I know what they were trying to do with the visually. Like it's supposed to like emulate like almost like an anime-esque like fight, like duel kind of shit. But still, I don't think it helps it visually when I feel like it should have been a much more grounded take with it with like those types of characters. Just
This
saying.
dude was pretty whack too.
Like
Why
I'm
not
a
anime based. I mean, like they should just do some like actual martial arts or something.
yeah. Like and then there's also like you heard like the stuff with like Top Gun where it's like it's Tom Cruise loves to do all of his stunts practically, but that's actually a lie. A lot of his shots are actually CGI'd, but you, the audience, don't actually notice it.
It's hard
Like-
to tell what CGI now with a plane going Mach 20.
Yeah, even Mach 20 is, even when it's not going Mach 20. Let me see if I can point out the shots here. So whenever it's like these scenes right here, where it's like him in a POV of the cockpit, a lot of the scenes in the background is CGI. Like, for example, here. And it's actually way more impressive to say that like this is actually CGI'd scene. And I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my god.
Launching a missile that close, crazy.
Yeah.
Why not, bro?
Like I said, I recommend watching
Because
Top Gun.
it wouldn't have time.
Yeah,
Why not,
I
bro?
recommend people watching Top Gun Maverick. Just because like the best way to describe this movie, if you guys have ever watched Star Wars Episode 4, that's the plot for Top Gun Maverick.
Damn, I think you might have offended some people.
Yeah, I already. But like I said too, I think the best way to really go about this, again, like the best types of visual effects is the ones that you don't notice half the time. Dune itself, it should be like heavily like CGI to hell. Like we should like see like CGI nightmares all across
Bro.
the whole thing.
You want to talk about CGI? What about the boys? They be using CGI left and right with all
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
superpowers.
Yeah,
Right and left,
most
up and
definitely,
down, in and out.
most
Especially
definitely.
that guy with the enlarging penis.
Most
That was-
Is
definitely.
that what
That,
you noticed?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
I mean they make you notice. It's like middle of the
They
screen.
make you know. Oh, okay. They make you notice. I see.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, it's just in the middle of the screen. It's so hard to avoid. It's like you can like you would have to go cross-eyed to like not look at it.
Yeah, like I was like, this is the type of shit too where like I think Dune as a visual point of view, it's just so good looking as well. Like
That's a
what
big
the
worm.
fuck is that? Like
That's the worm from SpongeBob. Come on, bro.
ah shit, the Alaskan bullworm.
Okay, there's 3 worms.
Spoilers, I haven't seen Dune. Okay.
Like
Dude,
you have that.
not even doing too much.
Okay, have
I
you
haven't
seen
seen
the
Dune
worms
2.
in SpongeBob?
Yeah. Like you can tell too, like based on your personal experience, Michael, that like, do you think in terms like visually, Dune actually looks way better than a lot of other like comic book movies or a lot of movies that have CGI? Hell, I even would like to say Dune is better than the Avatar.
I think better is an extreme
I-
like word to be using.
We're at a hot or trash podcast here. We're taking things always to
I
the
think
extreme.
I think it's great, but
Yeah,
I do
just like
think
Elias
that
says in
like
this game.
I do think that final episodes of Marvel or final like movies of Marvel had some pretty dang good CGI in it.
Yeah, like I said, this is not me bashing on
Infinity
the film.
War and End War and things like that is what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, Endgame and
I don't know what you're
Infinity
saying
War,
either.
But yes, I get you. And then you have stuff like The Batman is by far the most recent comic book movie that came out. And this actually, or not the most recent, but it had, in this case, honestly, a visually stunning,
Oh, I love this scene.
yeah. It's like the whole stuff too, where how it's shot. This could also be a whole separate topic, how in this case, the Batman himself, there's always like multiple adaptation of him, and each adaptation of Batman is completely different. And then it's just like the way how all of this looks, fucking phenomenal. And some could even argue then this could just be like a setting or like a shot in the studio with like rain droplets and CGI. There are some elements in there the background is somewhat CGI'd. And the problem being is that like it's fucking dark as shit. Like Victor, if you watch this movie in your current monitor too, you would have to turn up the brightness to actually see anything in this film.
I'm already partly struggling. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, is something going on?
No.
Oh, you have a video playing, bro? I can see.
Like, God, fuck it. This is for all the times people have only seen him play as Edward Collins in The Twilight.
I'm Batman.
Oh,
But-
man.
But yeah. So in this case,
Yeah,
one of the
look,
Mhm.
all the great CGI shots are shot in the dark. I get it. But, you know, you can't have everything in the dark.
Yeah,
Not every
you're
movie
right.
will work out in the dark. So that's, I mean,
Yeah, you're definitely right too. This is also again why I also like showcase the Dune or Dune movies, because a lot of those scenes are shot where the planet of Arrakis is like you have to showcase the desert. And
well,
what
that
better way to do is
Transformer, dude.
yeah, Transformers had in this case one of like the greatest things in terms of VFX, and then over time it just got progressively worse.
Well,
Not
that's
that
that's what everything. But those early Transformers, those are
yeah,
really good.
like look at this stuff too. Holy shit, Floyd, you watched this before too, right?
Yes, I owned the movie on DVD at one point.
Damn, where's your DVD now?
I don't know,
It's
probably
a
on my
DVD.
shelf.
Damn. But to also frank with you too, Michael Bay loves in this case this spectacle of like shooting like his scenes. So a lot of them are definitely going to be over the top in the first place.
And that's fine. That's the whole point. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, even here, you
It's
can
like
like, it just, I don't know, man. I just say it just works.
yeah, it definitely does work here too. It's like nothing about this like yes, you can tell they are all CGI'd characters, but it does not look bad on screen. Like everything just kind of works well together. The lighting for this
Yeah.
texturing and
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't rely on all the tricks that make it more realistic.
yeah.
It's just pure daylight and just a lot of random shit happening. And
Yeah.
Optimus Prime getting slapped.
God. And that's honestly, I think the best way to look at it too is honestly the way how he shoots his scenes.
Optimus Prime.
Like, because it's always like shown from like the bottom up, like showing you that sense of scale that you're supposed to be at all by it, which you are definitely are.
Mhm.
Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
And to prove your point as well, I do think there are actually a lot of TV shows that have like amazing VFX. Take, for example, the first few seasons of Game of Thrones, not the last season, just the first few seasons. And so there's definitely like a very weird conversation to have here. But I like to at least agree to that like all of like the bigger studios too, the most renowned studios, have been getting worse in terms of like trying to maintain the VFX quality that they're trying to get here.
And why do you think that is, Mr. Bowie?
And obviously it's multitude and layers of reasonings as well, since we've also heard from like both like Marvel and Disney themselves, they've had issues and problems in this case trying to pay their VFX artists on time, really, or any VFX studios on time, just because of how many times they have known for doing reshoots. Disney is at this point, they're known for the fact that there were going to be reshoots no matter what. And it really does bog down the quality of these movies. But this is also interesting too, where we had the movies like Alien Romulus, which, fun thing too, Disney owns the title of Alien. And Alien Romulus is a rated R film. Based on what I've heard a lot of on the interviews too, it took a lot of convincing for them to actually still go with like the stuff that they were trying to nail down for this movie. So let's go through at least like some of the trailers here, where in terms of like visual effects, dude, these are really good and decent VFX, but it's also renowned in terms of the Alien franchise that they combine together VFX and practical effects really well.
Romulus is the latest one, right?
Yeah. And
I
like,
kind of want to watch it.
it looks really good.
This place gives me the creeps.
And it's like from the directors of Evil Dead. Well, there's that as well for those that are old enough to know about it. Oh, actually, all the new people know about Don't Breathe. That's good, at least. Oh, God.
The fuck was that?
Like,
Stop
so
playing around,
we'll
man. Yeah,
watch.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something
I
in the
don't know.
water?
There's just something in the fucking water.
Jump in the fucking water. Yeah, we making love to them. Oh my goodness.
Run.
Yeah, that's how the facehuggers reproduce.
You mean the face fuckers?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See what I mean when it's just like in the middle of the screen?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my, he's foaming.
He's fucking dead. You scream while you stare.
Whatever
Oh,
comes, we'll face it together.
Right.
man,
We'll face the face fuckers together.
Yep.
Dude, I
We'll
think
fuck.
we all die.
We'll fuck the face fuckers together.
Oh god. So in this
Right.
case, what do you guys think about this?
I think the alien's fucking dumb.
We're fucking the face fuckers. I mean, fucking them up.
God. So,
I think these new aliens are dumb.
how so? But if anything, I've always loved in this case a lot of the Alien movies too, because they, besides Aliens 3, they do their absolute best to maintain the fact that anytime you actually see the xenomorphs or the aliens in questions, and even the facehuggers, a lot of that is actual like practical effects or puppets that the actors are interacting. I won't go into spoiler territories of certain things, but it's really well done on how well like a lot of like the actors are actually like seeing the practical effects. Just because it's one thing of like CGIing out a lot of things makes so that the actors can't really like do believable performances because they're not really interacting with something that's not there. Versus aliens, well, you gotta make them scared as shitless. What do? You give them the fucking monster.
You cut out and you coughed.
Oh, did I? Oh man. Oh man. I think at least in the recording it'll probably catch up, but definitely I probably am lagging on your guys' side. But yes. Shit, where did I cut off in?
Wouldn't it? I don't know.
Well.
Because you coughed.
God damn it. I didn't cough though, damn it.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Stop gaslighting me.
I always do.
God damn it. But like I said,
But you did cut out though.
But yeah, having in this case, Aliens is known for usages of having actors actually interact with the practical props, just so that they could actually do like a believable performance. And therefore, it's a really good franchise. It definitely has like a stupid premise here and there too, if you really think about it, but still good nonetheless. Like in terms of like how well a lot of these shots look, just from the trailers alone. So
VFX wise, it's not bad. I'm just saying the alien idea is dumb.
the alien idea is dumb. Yes. That's something that like I myself cannot really sell you. I don't know how to upsell you on that one. That's just how it is.
Now I only see
I
him
feel
as
like
the
it's
face
just
fuckers.
Godzilla.
Face fuckers, dude. I mean, literally, who came up with the idea of face fuckers?
I don't know.
I don't know. Ask the Scott Ripley that back in like 1990 something.
I mean, people watch Godzilla and it's just big monsters.
Hey man, at
Fighting
least
each other.
Godzilla's cool. Godzilla's fucking cool.
I mean, face fuckers are pretty cool too. They're just horrifying. I mean, cool.
They just fuck your face.
I don't think kind of cool is the right word to really say about that, Lloyd. Nobody
no,
wants
you
to
just-
have a
you
face
just not
hugger.
look-
attack.
Hey, you're not looking at
No, it's pretty cool,
the
dude.
lens I'm looking at.
I
okay? It's
like
pretty cool.
giant lizards fighting big monkeys.
But
So you
I
like Godzilla versus Kong?
God.
Yes.
But I will even say too, I think Godzilla X Kong actually looks visually worse than I'll even say the Godzilla 2014 version of him.
Oh, absolutely. It's terrible.
But that doesn't matter in the end for us. Because I think
Because
that's
it's all about kaiju action.
yeah. And I think there's something that like that's also another big part about it too, where like a lot of times with the CGI, it's being used in like films that want to like have like that serious tone, but a lot of that serious tone gets ruined because of bad CGI.
Absolutely.
So like people like I think me and you we discussed this a little bit too, where like it also depends on the movie as well. Like if the movie itself is supposed to be like some dumb fun action movie too, we can actually forgive a lot of like kind of shoddy like CGI work.
Well, you don't care about it because you just want to see big kaiju's fighting each other.
Like big kaijus, big explosions, like just ridiculous shit happening.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. I mean, of course, if it gets really terrible, that's extremely noticeable. Then yes, it will be. It will make it terrible.
Yeah. And I will even say too that like one, I won't actually mention that much with Christopher Nolan films because that man is batshit insane in the first place.
Mhm.
He does everything practical effects, even like his Dark Knight trilogies. Everything was practical effects. He blew up a hospital for that Joker scene.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Like to say the least too, there's also like a very interesting like topic about it too, why a lot of times films, if it wasn't just CGI, just a lot of films, recent films in general, just don't look that great. Even though it's like in terms of like spec wise, everything is shot in 4K, 1080p, or 22K resolution, whatever. I don't care. Despite like all of that too, I feel like the higher in definition quality we get, the worse that we get to see those movies visually. Like the worse that it looks visually. Like the higher they go in quality. Now, do you think that
The
plays
higher they
into
go
a
in
part of
quality,
it?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
So
Elaborate on what you mean.
So where I'm getting at with this too is that like the only thing that I'm saying here too is that like a lot of the movies they look way too clean for what they're trying to be, or it's like a lot of the shots they just look way too clean in recent movies. Like let's take for example again all the Marvel movies. A lot of the shots here too, they just look so like in this case like everything is so clear in like detail, and there's like all like you can see the pores of like the actor's face and whatnot, and it's like way too clean for that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to shoot things in like or trying to capture images in like 2 or 4K here. There's nothing wrong with that at all, but I think it does come with like a cost of like you look at these scenes and it's just I don't know. This is just me. Like, I can't really describe this feeling here, but this is just my take about it. Where I think the movie does really terrible if it's like focuses more on like the high resolution, like image or video capture quality, because it also makes everything else, especially with CGI, like become more pronounced here. Because the CGI art itself too has to like match that demand or match that quality detail.
I see. I mean, if it looks too realistic, then the CGI has to look just as realistic, right?
Yeah. And especially when it comes with Hollywood itself, that's practically replaces the entire setting and scenes with CGI, that becomes its issue.
Yeah. I agree.
So, and that's why I point out with the Batman and Dune here, because they are very much recent movies, but a lot of the CGI don't look awful. And it's because some of the things that we've heard too is that like a lot of the cameras that works that they use like the 4K capture quality cameras, but they replace the lens with like a vintage lenses that actually capture like the scene in like a different like look. And that difference of look actually helps the CGI artist actually kind of match it a little bit. That's at least where I'm getting at. This gets to the point where like I become a movie snob and I just know about a lot of these things, and just me justifying like I think that's how good movies should be made, but not all the time. Like I still love my dumb action films too, like the whole G.I. Joe live action movies that we had too. Not what Henry Golding's with Snake Eyes. That one was awful.
G.I. Joe.
I've never seen any of the G.I. Joes.
It is.
Personally, I haven't either, but I just saw the only parts of the movie that mattered.
Yeah, the rod from God, or the rods of God, and the exosuit run through Paris. Like, those had the most terrible CGIs that you probably have seen. Or actually, no, the CGI was actually really impressive for those films, honestly.
The CGI, and look, it blends in enough to a point where you don't care because all the dumb action makes up for it.
Yeah. And would you even state too that like I think you probably said it best probably when like off stream here that you said to me that it depends on the director's utilization of CGI is what makes a good film, right? Because I would even
Did I
wager
say
too
that?
that something like that. But I would even wager too that like I think like a lot of Korean movies that we watch too. Hell, that one buddy cop movie, I think that had a lot of CGI work into it as well. But again, we don't see it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I mean, it didn't seem like it needed CGI based on like the the scenes that were shot.
Yeah, but it probably wouldn't surprise me otherwise that they did use it to like probably patch up like a couple of things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there's differences of how CGI should be used, and Hollywood right now they're going through a troubling times where a lot of VFX studios have like gone out of businesses because like a lot of their artists are most definitely being overworked and not paid enough.
Yeah, I think there's this whole issue with Hollywood trying to push out so many movies and shows that there's not enough, probably not enough people to work on these kind of things, these visual effects stuff.
Yeah. Like, do you guys remember the movie trailer or a movie that's called Life of Pi?
Yes.
That movie alone bankrupted an entire VFX company because it was like
Crazy.
again, they had to CGI like the most realistic tiger that you've ever seen. But because like how long this movie took, and by the time it actually released and after the box office made its sales too, the company or this VFX studio itself could not sustain itself long enough and they just went out of business.
I think these companies should be paid for their work and not have to like wait after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and I think because of Life of Pi, it did set like a standard for like a lot of VFX artists to be like, hey, we are in this case, you need to pay us per shot that we are doing now, instead of like trying to work on this entire scene. And if anything, they had to like try to increase the cost, and that also like forces the companies not really to cut corners, but whenever they say to do these certain shots too, it doesn't like pertain in this case. Oh wait, but what about reshoots? What if we want you to redo the shot instead? And it's like, ah, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they should still get paid for the reshoots.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest
Well,
issue right now.
That's the thing, bro. I mean, like they should just get paid for the work they do. I mean, no matter reshoot or not,
Yeah, and apparently that's not what Disney is doing. Apparently, like they are abusing a lot of like the third-party companies too that are like
Wow.
trying to help make the films.
Disney was never a good company to begin with, so
Fair enough. Anyways, please do not send the Pinkertons to my house, please.
send it to Brian's house.
Please no. But in this case, out of all the examples that I have shown you to, does this kind of change your guys' opinions about some things, or do you think it reinforces that like maybe there is still hope where there's definitely directors that are making out good movies and they understand how to use CGI?
Well, there's
Maybe
still
I'm
big
wording that
companies
wrong.
look, man. There's still big companies making shitty shows and shitty movies, and we're still in a shitty place.
Fair enough. It looks at all the entirety of the MCU. Fuck, we even got the announcement too that Robert Downey Jr. is back.
What? He's back.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing as Doctor Doom.
What?
Don't worry,
Living.
we'll talk more about this after, where it's from another series of the terrible state that Marvel and Disney is in right now. But
Stay tuned for our next podcast
It's
episode.
okay. They live under a rock, Brian.
yeah, but yeah, if anything, I'm the one that's obsessive about movie culture, movie stuff, and settings and whatnot. So that's why I like
Backing
to.
them off.
But
Yes, this man's obsessed with many things. That's why we have this podcast.
exactly. So, regardless, I love in this case the whole like Alien Romulus. I still need to go watch it, but just based off the trailers alone, it looks hella good. Hell, you even have the newest movie reboot, that which is Twisters, that came out.
Twisters.
So,
I do like big tornadoes.
Sharknado.
so,
Tornado.
so, anyway, whichever how you guys want to look at this too. I think in general too, like these few movies I'm picking out as examples, they're like in this case the exception to what is currently like a bigger problem, and that a lot of newer movies are just becoming overly reliant on CGI, and they don't care about the quality of it either.
Yeah, I say the important thing is they don't care about the quality, not the over reliance on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because like obviously too, you look at the scenes that at least like, look, we can even go back to like Black Panther, for example, as that key like example here too. If they actually cared about like the quality of the VFX too, they would have actually like had the company itself like deal with like more time to like try to work out the visuals for this.
Absolutely.
But yeah, here it's just like, God. And it's also like awful too, because their reasoning or their excuse about it is that like the only reason they get this lighting is because of like the weird vibranium or like the light panel pillars that are coming out of it. But it's like it becomes like the light itself does not match the background at all. Like it looks so jarring. Where I feel like here, at least here's my say about this. If you want to do this scene right too, here's what you do: tone down like the actual black contrast of the setting so that it's actually dark and we only can see the blue veins. Maybe that might actually work better here. But maybe that's just me.
There's too much ambient light.
Yeah, there's too much ambient light, because if you really want to make it so that the focus of the lighting is like whatever is on this weird maglev system that they have here, make it that too. Because everything else is just, it just looks awful. I think that's the best way to really look at it. It just looks awful in terms like visually and like lack of foresight and planning wise. And that's again, I could go so much into the Star Wars stuff too, of like their visual CGI stuff. It can range from being absolute awful to almost god tier visual effects. There's somehow no in-betweens either. It's either really good or really bad. And it absolutely sucks half the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god. Anyways, Star Wars alone too, they had like in this case really impressive visual effects work. I won't say much about the story because that's its own separate topic. That if anything, Michael, if you want to do a Star Wars talk, we could definitely do that.
All right.
But I don't know. I'm just at this point too where like I will just state up straight as a hot or trash take on behalf of us too. I think newer movies nowadays are getting worse visually because of the fact that they're not doing the things needed to like actually try to frame good shots. And their reliance on CGI, but they don't give a fuck about what the results come out as. It's as if movies nowadays are becoming TV quality VFX. I think that's the biggest problem here.
Yeah.
Because I would even say too, like, Lloyd, when you mentioned that at least when you watch Shogun as like the most recent shows that you watch, that's by far also one of the most visually appealing shows as well. But the problem again is that it also had like fuck ton of money into its budget to make this type of movie. Then you see Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. It had a lot of money into it, but visually speaking, it doesn't look that great.
Yeah. Like I said, money is one thing.
Yeah, money is one thing. Just the execution of a lot of CGI just looks awful. Oh my god. I feel like I've monologued enough about it too. Victor, please take over about it.
I don't watch movies. What are you talking about?
God fucking damn it, it is about me. Shit, I'm sorry.
All right, so we're gonna go on an absolute rant. I don't watch movies.
You think movies are a waste of
Coming
time,
to my
aren't
TED
you?
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
God damn it. But hell, even we could say too, like, we even think too, like, bad VFX movies too, like fucking Starship Troopers. We fucking saw that shit together. That had terrible
yeah.
CGI, but it still looked good. It looks
It's enjoyable. It looks terrible. it doesn't look good. Let's be fair, like, in any way whatsoever. It's just enjoyable.
Yeah,
Then there's a difference here.
yeah. And then there's fucking Sharknado of all things. What the fuck
Okay,
was all
Sharknado
that?
is just terrible.
The
It's just terrible.
only redeeming factor of that movie was Olivia Wilde. That's it.
Hey, we got a buddy that's a celebrity crush, bro.
Hey, man. If fucking
I'm
happens,
telling your girlfriend.
no, please.
Ah, yes, Battleship. Oh, that was a good.
Oh. Battleship was definitely just a CGI slop. Holy fucking shit. God.
Granted, it was. See, it's still enjoyable, and the CGI wasn't like super garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, my argument wasn't that garbage.
Yeah. The movie itself was definitely, it wasn't the greatest. But I think that was what made it charming.
Like all that didn't matter. I just wanted to see this big ship just blast some ass.
God.
Fire.
Michael, do you remember the Battleship?
Yeah, I loved it.
God.
I
Just,
mean, the aliens were dumb. The whole plot was dumb. The whole premise was dumb. Everything about this movie was dumb.
why is
Yeah.
Rihanna even here?
Was just- like the only redeeming factor, literally, is just this scene.
Yeah. It was like, what are we doing? We're about to drift this battleship.
This
God.
10 minutes was the only thing about the movie that made it good.
Yeah. We are gonna die. But we're not gonna show the entire 10 minutes. We'll show like a small clip of it of like the best moments of this 10 minutes. God.
Ugh.
You know,
God.
those two standing there should have just like flopped over and
It's like, oh fuck.
freaking
Yeah.
just still standing there normally. Should have flopped over and fell off the side of the ship already.
I also feel like everything not secured is now everywhere.
Definitely.
Yes. Oh, baby.
God.
That's all I cared about.
Honestly, destruction CGI is something that I don't care the quality about it. It's still gonna look good to me no matter what. Actually, no, I
I mean-
take that back.
No, everything is happening all at once. And you don't really notice.
All the
You don't notice the
imperfections.
quality of CGI. Yeah.
Oh man. Like, God. It's just so ridiculous. Oh. And this is supposed to be the jokes too, because those things are supposed to be like the battleship pegs. What an absolute fucking weird ass movie this was.
No, I commend them for trying to like,
Actually trying to make Battleship in a
like,
movie.
make it similar to the board game. It's just no aliens. So dumb.
Yes, it was. But God.
They ain't gonna sink this boat, no way, no how. You're right, they're not. They're incompetent.
God.
Damn, bro.
They really are.
There's a lot of camera shaking. It helps you remove
Like
yourself
focusing
from
on like,
noticing the CGI too much.
yeah. Just holy fucking shit. God.
On every plane in the air now.
Liam Neeson, baby. God. Like, if anything, VFX is something that is definitely like is a tool that needs to be used correctly in any project that is being used, whether it's like movies, shows, even video games, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, today's day and age has really proven that people will use tools without knowing or understanding how to use them,
It's like,
or
yeah,
or using the tools the wrong way.
right? Just like again, God, I want us to talk about Star Wars at a later point, but that's something again, future topic. If you want us to talk about Star Wars, please let us know, because otherwise
Next time
it's
on
just
the
gonna.
Hot or Trash podcast.
Or if anything, if y'all three want to talk about anything else, or if there's anything that you would like to say right now, like of all the examples of all the video clips that you have that made you guys sit through and watch, does my point at least have some merit? At least like modern day movies have like worse visuals. Not even in terms of effects, it just looks awful.
I already agreed before the podcast started.
Yeah. Damn.
Dude, I saw that Black Widow and it solidified your opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, that black, that Black
we
Widow was
we have
something
to
else.
see that shit again.
That 12
Man,
seconds.
bro,
That
like-
12 seconds is life changing. Was eye opening.
Like right here, I'm like, that looks like so, like so
You're right.
horrible.
It's like it's so.
It still looks like it's on a green
That's
screen.
green
You watch
screen.
those like
Low-key.
bloopers, and it's
Guys,
just like
I think I
that.
see the shadow. It's just
why
that.
does this scene reminds me of Spy Kids? Y'all watch Spy Kids? Y'all remember?
Oh
Yes.
my god.
It does
This reminds me of Spy
Kids.
Kids.
God, you're comparing this movie to Spy Kids. Holy shit.
And that's how
I mean-
bad it is.
That's how bad it is, bro.
Like, duh. Like even the
look at the look at the atmosphere, the whole background, the whole clouds and stuff, bro. It looks
yeah.
looks awful.
Yeah, let's go play by play about this shit real quick too. We'll see like how bad this fucking looks. We see this, that, and then afterwards,
Bro,
the
look, that
lighting
fire
on
looks-
her.
lighting on
It's-
her is just full fledged orange, just nothing else.
And yeah, she's just full-fledged orange. Like, I think this is the main problem too, because the background itself or the ambient like environment is not reacting to this bright light that's coming out from here.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I
it's
just
probably
think I
because gosh,
Look, it looks like a scene rendered in Blender.
yeah.
Horrible.
And also,
So sorry.
this is like the way how she's flying backwards too looks off.
That
Okay, well,
trajectory is off.
she's still. I like how her head is still looking at the fire. when
Yeah,
she-
it's like
when she's flinging around.
yeah, normal reaction you would want to look away from that type of shit.
Or at least just like, you should be
Your
you shouldn't
head
have
like-
that much
snap
control
like-
back
over your
at
body.
least.
Yeah, like shield your face kind of shit.
Well, I feel like really what would happen is like she would have obviously been pushed by it in any sort of like
Direction.
if she had her arm in one. If she had her arm in one like different way, that would have caused the force on her to be different. She'd be
Doesn't
flipping.
help.
Yeah.
Her face doesn't help.
If she had, if she wasn't supposed to already be like gibbed, she'd be
Also-
flipping.
Also, I'm maybe saying that look how blurry it is something that's probably not a good argument, but look at her legs versus how everything else looks in her body. Like I see like they were trying to like make it look like it blends together because they blurred the legs, but it just looks damn. I get that this movie was made there. This movie was made during COVID, so yeah.
What? I'm so tired of that
that
excuse.
shouldn't matter. Yeah, it shouldn't matter because
Fire that
mean-
excuses during COVID. Bull fucking shit.
you're working on the computer, bro. Computers are the same everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been working on the computer with and without COVID. All right, it doesn't matter. What
Yeah. Also, look at this scene here too. You can still see her right there.
Where? Oh,
She looks. Hold on, it's not even moving.
she's staying in place. Hey.
No, she's
It's
moving.
like she stays in place, kind of.
She's moving in place.
Yeah.
her like body, like the way she's folded isn't changing, but she's moving.
Yeah, she's moving. But it's just the model.
Maybe
just,
it's maybe it's the camera trick.
maybe, but God, it's a terrible camera trick. But look, there's definitely like stuff like this where it's like we get to see stuff that's in CGI and what's actually being shot here too. Such as right now, yeah, we had an Uncharted movie with Tom Holland as supposed to be Nathan Drake. I don't know why they casted Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, to be honest with you, but we had an actual suitable actor for that, and that's the actual voice actor for this guy in Uncharted games. But anyways, that's just me complaining about it at that point.
Okay, go marry the voice actor. Damn. Gee.
Yeah.
Nathan
for real.
Fillion,
Don't
you
worry-
see
don't
him
worry-
in The Rookie,
don't
Loy.
worry about Brian.
I
Don't worry
know.
about Brian. Everyone, he just complains about everything.
Yeah, he does.
Hell yeah, I do. Fuck everything else.
Damn. What's the one thing you care about, or things you care about? Huh? Us? Yeah, no, thank you. You love us.
What's the difference when they use blue and green screens?
It depends because blue screen allows like VFX artists to help out, like cut out stuff around them to get like better like background or rotoscoping stuff. But to be honest with you, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, since regardless,
Makes
you're
sense
able
to
to
me.
cut it out. But it's also, again, with the blue screen, it helps with like lighting in general.
I see. Less light
Yeah.
bouncing everywhere.
Yeah, less light bouncing everywhere. Hell, and then you have like actual John Wick scene that's in CGI here. Like the thing about it is like you didn't even notice that was like CGI. Obviously, like the whole bike ride itself is like definitely CGI'd in some ways, but it's like look how
Got the green
complicated.
suit group in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, the green suit group right here.
Could you imagine like they're watching it's all the screen and you know they're just blending in, but those little holes, what do you see? Like little
Yeah, like
eyes
you see
floating?
someone's
What do you see,
eyes
the little
following behind
eyes?
the
Yeah.
motorcycle.
It's like, imagine they add that shit in as a fucking joke too. That like then just in that one frame that it pops in, and then it's like gone immediately.
Oh damn, dude! Look at them boys flying.
But yeah, it's like yeah, this whole sequence in like John Wick, it was all CGI too. It was like honestly, I didn't even notice that it was CGI because obviously the action is what made you get distracted. The fact that it was CGI'd, which is like again, this is definitely like people that understand how to use CGI correctly for this.
I think it's also them understanding how to make people or how to divert people's attentions to the important things, which is
Yeah.
the action.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is that like the biggest sin that Marvel has done with a lot of like their Spider-Man stuff from like Spider-Man 1 and 2 for the MCU line, Tom Holland has a really good suit that they have made for him for this movie. But a lot of the scenes that they did for him, it's all CGI'd out. And it's only when it's like No Way Home Spider-Man where they actually use like his actual suit here too, because they want to again really showcase that he's wearing a suit, and it's not like the comic accurate one where it's all spandex and it's like almost tight to your skin kind of shit. And even that too, that's also again unrealistic in that type too, because if it's supposed to be like a costume or like a skin type suit, you would see stretch, fold, all that stuff that you would see in clothing. But not in this case. Hell, here we go. This is also shows like Supergirl. All of them get to wear their costumes. That's actually fucking dope.
The Flash.
Yeah, the Flash here. I think this is the Mad Max movies. Yep.
Can you imagine being in that car and having to watch you're flipping it like that?
Hell yeah, that would be fun as hell. Hell, actually, here's what I will say: the best visual movies where I think CGI has peaked, and it's not like the, if anything, it would be Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, but it's actually Pirates in the Caribbean. That is when CGI actually peaked. I will do one more clip of this, but let me show you the Flying Dutchman dive.
The Flying Dutchman.
Like, this scene alone is something that I want to say, dude. Like, I think a lot of VFX people study this shot a lot.
Bro, they should study how to make big films.
Honestly, studying how to make a better movie.
Look at that. Look at that
Yeah.
beardy,
Like
tentacly
technical
beard.
fucker right here.
Beard tentacle.
And I cannot step foot on land again for near a decade. You'll trust us to act
Like,
in your stead.
everybody else, dude, yeah, it is definitely CGI, but there's like a lot of actors that actually had like wore the costume, and it's mostly like the face. Like, look at this. And there's also some small details too. You see how like the octopus tentacles actually like keep his hat down
Yeah.
as he's diving. Like,
Damn, we can turn this ship into a submarine.
yeah,
That's
the
crazy.
Flying Dutchman.
Well,
The undead.
he's definitely not flying, but he's diving.
Yeah.
The
And
diving
I think-
Dutchman.
But I think to your point too, Victor, I think this movie franchise alone is definitely like supports your argument that like you don't need it to be like dark or rainy to actually showcase or to hide bad CGI. There are just some cases too where CGI is just that good. And Hell, just looking at Davy Jones alone here too. Look at this motherfucker. Holy shit.
They had plenty of confidence in their ability to do CGI. That's why they did a close up.
Yeah, like, oh my god. All the details and all the movements that you see him do.
You will watch this.
Yeah, Brian, you will watch this.
God. Ah.
Baby back.
Oh my god. Again, I fucking love this movie, or I fucking love the movie franchise too. Just again, visually speaking, is by far the best thing that Disney has made. With like few grains of salt here and there, because there are actually some cases where I even say Tron Legacy was actually really good, but again, that was filmed differently. But my point still stands. Big Hollywood studios are definitely like not understanding well how to use it, or if anything, they don't choose to understand it well. They just want to pump shit out so that people hopefully will just buy it. But at least right now, the moviegoers, they're actually like more sensitive of actually knowing which is bad CGI, and they're going to watch movies that obviously are good films to begin with, like Dune, The Batman, Alien Romulus, hell, Deadpool and Wolverine. Although Deadpool and Wolverine had some shit.
Do you think they're more sensitive to CGI, or is it because some CGI is just blatantly bad they can't deal with it anymore?
You're right. Yeah, it's just a lot of CGI is just blatantly bad. But mind you,
the whole Black Widow stuff is still in my head.
that's gonna be something that I think everybody is gonna talk about to the end of time here. Like, there's nothing really to really defend them about that. It's just awful. And we'll definitely see like how like the next few movies will come out to, but that's just my hot take. There are definitely still going to be that select few movies that are going to do well, because visually speaking, they know how to film or frame shots, because directors usually have a good sense for that. It just also depends on like how much involvement like bigger studios have in a lot of these projects. Disney, for example, is notorious for that shit. So we'll hopefully see too. Maybe in this case, we'll get a better Harry Potter movie. Probably not. But I don't know. Is there anything that you guys will be looking out for as well? For like maybe the next movie that might interest you? If not, that's also perfectly a fine answer as well.
I don't know what movies are coming out anyways.
I agree. I don't even know what movies are coming out.
I got one. Sonic 3.
No, I won't be looking forward to that one.
I fucking love this.
Where's Sonic 4?
Look, Michael,
want
you can't
Sonic
tell me to.
27.
Look, we had the biggest improvement in the fact that bullying works on these big companies. Because
Damn.
did you want to know? Did you remember what the original live action Sonic the Hedgehog looked like?
Yeah, I
Horrible.
remember.
Let's see.
I remember that fucking.
Look at this shit. What the fuck? What is this?
He looks like a Cat in a Hat character.
Like,
it looks like somebody wearing a onesie.
What?
A furry?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, no, what the fuck is this? Damn it, no. Fuck you,
Become an
Business
insider,
Insider.
Brian.
Fuck you, Business Insider.
$1 for
Just click on that big face right there.
Open image, and new tab. There we go. Look at this. Look. The
Hey, bro,
studios
I
at
wouldn't be
least listen.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised that is a guy in a furry suit.
No, it's
I'm
all
saying.
CG. Oh god. Like I said, I think right now Sonic is definitely currently the best right now when it comes to CGI characters. Maybe not the best qualities, but the fact that the authenticity looks great.
Mhm. Well,
It
when
looks
you
better
bully a
because-
company into submission, then yeah, it should be better.
Yeah, it should be better because this is the current look of, in this case, another character, Shadow the Hedgehog. Voiced by Keanu Reeves.
Where's Uganda Knuckles?
No, we are not going Ugandan Knuckles.
Why not?
Actually, I don't remember Sonic 2 if he made it like a Ugandan Knuckles joke.
Do you know the way?
But albeit that's a movie that I'm honestly excited about, but it's also because again, Jim Carrey actually carries the movie a lot. And he's back in this one as well. So that's a movie I'm excited, and it's coming out this December. So if any of you guys are excited to watch, at least if there's a movie that you don't know what to watch this year, watch Sonic 3. It's amazing.
How do you know
I
it's
haven't seen-
amazing? We never watched it yet.
Shut the fuck up. The trailers make it look
But
cool.
It's amazing.
Based off the trailer alone, it looks amazing. All right, fuck you.
Yeah, suck my ass.
No, I will. But anyways,
Bet. What's a whipped cream and a cherry on top of it? Bet you won't. You ain't
Okay,
about
this
that
guy-
life.
okay, this got weird very much immediately. But yeah, do you guys
dude.
have any closing statement or any hot or trash takes that you want to end this stream off in?
Your beauty.
What the What the hell?
Have you ever seen Blue Lock? The way they run is fucking poorly animated. I just wanted to say that now, but it's a great show nonetheless.
All right, we want all the smoke from the anime fans. Fuck them. Let's go. For those that
Hey,
do
bro.
watch Blue Lock,
I'm an avid reader and watcher of Blue Lock. But dude, when they run, it looks so poorly done. It doesn't look natural. It's just like a bunch of mannequins running.
ugh.
Yeah.
But so, well, we got that from Loy. Anything from y'all too, then?
Nope.
Nothing from y'all. All right, good to hear, boys. We're gonna end up.
Don't forget
God.
to make love to each other and yourselves. All right, it's very important. Love yourself. Make love to yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That is
make out
always
with
the most-
yourself. Yeah, look at yourself
Do
in
it with
the
your
mirror
feet
and
if you have to. If you have no
Love
hands.
Is there anything you want? You can use any of your body parts. Just make sure you make love to yourself.
Oh God.
mold your lips, then kiss it.
What?
Exactly.
Don't even know.
Okay. Anyways, thank you all again for tuning in for tonight too. Obviously, I do want to have like a lot more fun topics to do. Hopefully, this was somewhat of a fun topic and it's slightly sort of informative, but also us probably shit talking on Black Widow. Mostly shit talking on Black Widow.
Bro, hey, I still stand by it. That fucking scene. God awful.
Look,
Fucking Spy Kids
fine,
looking ass.
The Spy Kids scene.
Look.
Yeah, bro.
oh my God. Yeah, I will, before we end it off too, I would like to showcase one scene in particular. Hold on. Zooming.
Oh no.
Hold on.
That's
Not this-
exactly what it looks like. I'm telling you, click that first clip. That is exactly what it looks like. Like, tell me that's not the same.
Damn, bro. From 1990 CGI. I believe
All right.
1990 their CGI.
So, but yeah, fun fact about this movie as well, besides the fact that if you look at the actual cast for Spy Kids, there's actually a lot of A-list actors in this movie. And it's because, again, the director wanted to make a kids movie for his children to actually be entertained with. So he asked a bunch of his buddies in Hollywood that they'd be willing to make like a children's movie. And it's like over the top ridiculous shit. And they're like, fuck it, let's do it.
No, granted, as a kids, it was a cool movie.
It was a cool movie.
Nowadays,
It was-
as an adult, CGI is awful. But hey, that's not the point. It
the
was a cool
point-
movie when we were kids.
Look, the point of it is that this was actually enjoyable, all right?
I'm the guy. The real guy.
I am the guy.
Okay,
Right,
Gets
sorry.
really blasted immediately.
Sorry.
For real.
Sorry. We have to watch it this one because it's
I'm the
just
guy.
amazing. It's Elijah Wood. For those that don't know, he is Frodo Baggins from The Lord of the Rings. Sorry, I said the wrong actor or wrong character.
Damn. You're crazy.
Just fucking dies.
Guy.
Yo, do the I am the guy scene. Hold on. And they
I'm
just
the
did
guy.
the cake scene.
Yeah, go back to the first clip.
Oh, this one or
Isn't that it?
Yeah, it's this one right there.
the guy. All right.
You didn't tell me, did you? I was getting around to it. Deceivers. What about the other side of level 5? There is no other side. You'll be imprisoned in the game. Game over.
We're not letting you shut down this game. Now you're gonna see just how fast that counter of yours can count backwards.
You have to go through me first. Game Boy. Now, listen to me.
Game Boy.
I'm the guy.
Stop saying you're the guy. We all know that you're not the guy.
He's not the guy.
I am.
It's really, it's just
I'm the guy.
dumb kid movie.
The real guy. And I say we go in, we beat this unwinnable level, and we get to the other side, where untold riches and a bounty fit for 10 kings awaits us.
I knew it. Now he's definitely the guy. But it's unwinnable.
Why is everyone together?
Nothing is unwinnable. If we join together in battle as one, we play on each other's strengths and help cover each other's weaknesses. We can accomplish
My guy
anything,
says all this,
and we will accomplish
game with-
everything.
Yeah.
First, let's go whip this unwinnable level and show it who's boss. Are you with me? Yeah! Stand aside.
God.
That was so funny.
That's not the point, bro.
I know.
The point is,
Cake.
Hey, I love it. Yeah.
Oh my.
Oops.
I'm the guy.
I'm the
Nice.
guy.
Like, declare yourself who you are, give a motivational speech, say kick, die.
Yeah. The goal.
God. Thank you all for those
Amen.
that have watched this and sticking it through the end of this. Fuck.
I think Brian lost like 3 brain cells after this.
Oh, God damn it. Okay. Thank you all again for tonight.
We're really,
Thank you.
we're
Thank you
really
again for
losing all his
joining.
brain cells now.
Yes, fucking damn it. Thank you again for joining us in this mostly the most chaotic ending ever. Hope you all had a wonderful night.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and do whatever you do on YouTube videos to
Also
to
make
get us
love to
views.
Brian. Give him a kiss on the forehead.
No
Goodbye.
need.
Oh, God. Anyways, good night, y'all. Alright, you don't get to sneak shit in this.